It's about witchcraft. The many who are in situations they don't know how they got in. I mean, you just wonder, why is the other guy so mad at you? Even they can't explain, because they're holding on to these thoughts and they think they are super intelligent. I just told you that in where we read in 2 Chronicles chapter 33 verse 6, where he tells you about witchcraft, and he uses the brother word kasab in the Hebrew, which primarily means to whisper a spell. A spell, to whisper a spell. That's interesting. What does the Bible say about a whisperer? One who whispers. What does it say? I'll show it to you. You go to Proverbs chapter 16 and verse 28. And look at it in the King James translation. Very interesting. A froward man soweth strife, and a whisperer separated chief friends. Now, he uses the word a whisperer. You can break that down for other synonyms, like a talebearer and so on. But there's a reason. And sometimes I like to explain to people why the King James translation is very good. No matter what translations you have, make sure to also have the King James translation, because the translators of the King James tried to maintain prophetic terminologies. They weren't just trying to simplify a translation for everybody to understand. That was not the primary aim, which is the aim of a lot of translations, to the point that some are not translations, they are interpretations, which is sometimes you really see. But the King James translation preserves the most than other translations the prophetic words, see, allowing the language to speak for itself without over modification. And I've said that several times about the King James translation. So it's interesting that it uses the term a whisperer. The other times you find the word talebearer, but the translators didn't use the word talebearer here, because there's something about whispering in witchcraft. Witchcraft, it says, you whisper a spell. Wonderful. Wonderful. And so what happens? Here he gives you results. Separating friends. You can separate friends by whispering a spell. Not just an ordinary bearing of tales. It says there's something about that tale bearing that causes these friends to no longer be together. So it's not mere tale bearing. There's a spell. There's a demonic activity there. And divisions are the trademark of witchcraft, because divisions in homes, homes, spouses they can split because of that. Children from their parents, siblings can be divided through witchcraft. Leaders of communities, leaders of nations. It's about witchcraft. Then you find you can't understand. Why? Whispering a spell. A thought comes to you. You think it's an ordinary thought. You think it's you just meditating, thinking. Then gives you an idea what to do, what to say. You don't subject that thought to God's word, to God's spirit. You act on it. And the next thing you know, you got trouble. You got trouble. Division. Separation.